everyone, and welcome back to the Sweet Doll Box. For those of you who don't know, Descendants 3 came out a couple of weeks ago, and it was such a great movie. After watching Descendants 3, I had a new favorite character, Evil Audrey. I loved her costume design, though I wish they had developed her character just a little bit more. Not to mention, her song Queen of Mean is absolutely amazing. Y'all should go listen to it, it was so good. After watching the video like 10 times in a row, I decided that I was going to make an Evil Audrey doll. I started on this doll project literally the day after I submitted my fish boy pictures to Delightful, so it was interesting. I finished her in about 2 days, but I decided to wait a while to release the video so that, it could be a little bit more evenly spaced out. So without further ado, let's get started! The doll base I'm going to be using for this project is Briar Beauty, which I kind of found interesting because they're literally the same character. Both Audrey and Briar Beauty are the daughter of Sleeping Beauty, so that's interesting. Anyway, I start to clean up the doll by removing all of her hair and pulling it out through the neck hole. This part can be really fun if you get big pieces. It's so disgusting! Next, I remove her factory paint with acetone nail polish remover and a cotton ball this time, because her face doesn't have many crevices, so I didn't really need to use a Q-tip. After one layer of Mr. Super Clear, it's time to start the face up. Evil Audrey has this kind of sleepy-eyed look, and I want to make sure that my doll gets that. So instead of filling out the entire sculpted area like I normally do, I only cover about 2/3 of it. Then I sketch the rest of the outline of the eye and then the irises. I'm adding some extra lines in that 1/3 space that's not covered so that it looks like she has eyelids. I don't know why, but for some reason I really wanted to darken her nostrils, so that's what I did with a dark brown pencil. At this point, because I want her eyes to be a darker brown later, I decided to go ahead and start layering up on the brown colors in her irises. Next up, eyebrows and eyeshadow. I've never done crazy eyeshadow before, so this is going to be a fun experiment. Let's see what I can do. Evil Audrey has very high arched eyebrows, and I want to make sure that my doll has them as well. So using my pastels, a brush, and a kneaded eraser, I carefully shape them out to be the perfect shape like I want them to be. The Queen of Mean needs some mean eyebrows, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. I also did some contouring on her cheekbones. I think that's what you call it, where I emphasized the cheekbones a little bit. I just wanted to try to make the face look a little less round. But once again, I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me. Alright, time to go in with more detail. So I want her eyebrows to have some hairs, so I use a watercolor pencil and draw some on. I also want it to kind of fade to pink in the end, so I think I'll do that later. Yeah, but I wanted it to fade from dark brown to pink, and it looks pretty cool. Yeah, here we go, with that pink watercolor pencil. I like the way it looks. So my hands were a little shaky the day I did this, so the eyeliner didn't turn out all that great. But I mean, for shaky hands, I guess it was alright. I'm not super happy with how it turned out, but I know if I hadn't done it, it wouldn't look the same, so I'm kind of glad I went in with the eyeliner. I think it makes it a little bit more bold, I guess. I don't know makeup terms. Once again, just bear with me, I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, now it's time for eyeshadow. I start by taking dark blue pastels and blushing them on the edge. So I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make it look like a cat eye or cat wing or something. I don't know makeup terms. I don't even do this type of makeup on myself, so how am I supposed to know what it is for a doll? But yeah, I just kind of tried to get it to look like it did in the picture with the wings on the side. And I think I made it look pretty good. And it only took a couple of layers because the colors were so dark anyway. It worked out just fine. So yeah, and I'm pretty proud with how it turned out. After coloring in the sclera with a darker brown, I go in with a black watercolor pencil and draw the pupil. I also go back over the eyeliner with a black pencil to thicken it up and darken it up. I want her eyes to have a gradient from black to brown, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Her eyes are going to have a gradient from black to brown. I love the way the gradient looks on the eyes, so you're probably going to see this in future doll customs, just so you know. Alright, and we're back with more pastels to darken up the lip color with that hot pink. This is the third and last coat of Mr. Super Clear before the final spray, so the last one that I'll draw on. So it's time to darken up all the colors or brighten up all the colors that I want to and, make them look a little better. One more spray of Mr. Super Clear and we are done with the face-up. Time for the clothes. I'm going to use these Raven Queen shoes from I don't know which set and paint them with a light coat of kind of whitish paint first to act as a primer, and then with a layer of pink paint later so that her shoes are a little pink, and then I'm going to dry brush them with black. Whew, that's a lot. So I didn't feel like going through all the work of actually making the top for the dress, so instead I'm taking this old Justine Dancer dress, which is such a shame because I absolutely love this dress. So maybe I'll buy another one day, and I'm taking it apart and I'm going to use the top and just paint it to be the right color. I begin the process of coloring the top by using a pink permanent marker to color the top, and I also make sure to color the sleeves, and then after that I wash it out in cold water so that the ink washes out in the water and not on my doll's skin, because that would be really bad. I wasn't happy with the pink color of the bodice piece, so I decided to paint pink and then I dry brush it black. I realized that there was a little bit of purple in the top when I checked the picture, so I took some light purple paint, slapped it on there, and called it good. There were 2 decals on her bodice, a bluebird and a blackbird, or black dragon, I couldn't actually tell. So instead of making tiny birds or dragons or whatever, I just decided to glue 2 beads on of the corresponding color. I made this pair of pants using my Froggy Stuff's legging tutorial, and I painted it pink and black and pink and black until I got it to be the right color that I wanted it to be. I added these little black dots for fun. It looked like they kind of had it in the picture, but you know, it just was lacking a little bit of design, so I just decided to slap on some dots. The doll I'm using originally had black gloves on that were not removable, so I just had to paint over it in a paint that kind of matched the skin tone, but not quite. I'm still kind of bummed because I actually had another doll that would have been way better for this project. I was just so excited I wasn't thinking straight. But anyway, I painted on some pink glovelets and added some black details to them, and yeah, they look really cute. Oh yeah, and I cannot forget her black nail polish. I applied it with the tip of a toothpick. Time for her cape skirt thingy. I don't know what to call it. I used this piece of pink fabric, which I hemmed at the bottom, and dry brushed it black all the way down. The piece of fabric looked too pink still, so I decided to paint the bottom hem black, so it looks more dark and evil or whatever. Then taking this embroidery thread, I stitch it to the top of that strip of fabric, gather it, and attach it to a faux leather corset. I will be making yarn hair for this doll, so like usual, I cut a bunch of yarn to a certain length, brush it out with my pet brush, and then iron it flat because I can't find my hair straightener right now. And then I cut it off and hot glue it directly onto the head. I accidentally picked the hair colors to be blue and hot pink, which I thought was the color until I noticed that it was hot pink and purple, but I don't have any purple yarn, so we're just gonna have to deal with the blue for now. Maybe I'll fix it later, but it doesn't really matter right now. Lastly, I found this crown in my bin of random stuff that I found at Goodwill, and I paint the jewels on the top with a light blue to match the crown in the movie, and with that we're done! So here you have it, y'all. I know she doesn't exactly match the Evil Audrey in the movie. She's more Evil Audrey inspired, but that's okay with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and comment who is your favorite character from Descendants 3. So thank you guys so much for watching, and bye!